Alright guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So, like I suggested in the title, you need to prepare and you only have 63 days. That's right. We have an election coming up that is full of controversy. There is so much division in our country. There's so much influence outside of our country. Too many agendas. And quite frankly, the populace here in America are freaking crazy. Now, my major concern is that we're going to have widespread civil unrest. Doesn't matter which way the elections go this year. Yeah. Was it November 5th is the election date? Or the 3rd? I think it's the 5th. Should be popped up there for you. That's my biggest concern. Doesn't matter who's going to win. Other side's going to contest it. They're already building up a narrative that everybody needs to stay calm, and doesn't matter which way who wins, everybody needs to fall and fold, basically. Yeah, as if they already know what's coming. Now, we might get to see the telltale signs ahead of time. You know, the mysterious pallets of bricks in the middle of a road in the middle of downtown Chicago and other urban areas. But then again, maybe not. I expect a lot of protests this year before election. I expect a lot of intimidation and protesting outside of polling stations before the election actually is announced, you know, the winner. And I'm expecting a lot of violent protests, civil unrest after the election is announced. You know, the last election, I was watching polls and we're looking at everything, and bumbling moron there, just, you know, I'm going to bed. He already knew it was in the bag. No sense of staying up. He already knew that things were manipulated. I'm trying to watch what I say here on this platform. If Trump wins, I expect major protests, a lot of violence, and I do see Antifa coming back. I see a bunch of these groups coming back, and I believe they're going to be hard up this time around, more than what they were. If Kamala wins, that's a far shot, but hey, no one expected the crookedness of the Biden results either. If that happens, my main concern with that is that the right, the Constitutionists, will revolt as well. I'm not saying you're in the wrong. I'm not saying that at all. My concern as a prepper is that most people are not prepared for it. Most of you guys that are watching are preppers. You know, sometimes we get some new people here that never prepped, and fortunately they kind of like, oh wow, this actually makes sense. Need to start prepping. The majority of people in America are not preppers at all. A couple days worth of food in their house, if that. Most of the time, they order, stop in. You know, I have friends up in New York. They live in like a couple block radius. Everything, their job, everything, their groceries, everything is in a couple block radius of where they live. Everything. And they're just not prepared for anything. They're so used to going downstairs, turn the corner, hit the fresh fruit market, whatever it is, right there. Good to go. No cash on hand. That's another thing. No cash on hand. Everything is digital, you know, and now it's not even a debit card anymore. It's the swipe pay stuff on their phones. Not even a physical card. All right. So preparedness. You know, there could be all kind of things that happen. And feel free to leave in the comments what your concerns are. I worry about a martial law situation. If something major goes down, massive rioting, civil unrest, yeah, they have to lock it down. Doesn't matter what side it is. I shouldn't say it doesn't matter what side it is, because we saw from last time, as long as the left is showing their ass, it's okay, freedom of speech. Because when the right goes in March. It's terrorist, domestic terrorism, and I still have people that I know that was up there in DC that still get interviewed with FBI because they were there. You don't see that going on with George Floyd and Black Lives Matter and Antifa. With what we're seeing with Iran and Israel, the amount of support for Hamas and Hezbollah here in the States alone should be great concern. These are known terrorist groups. And the support for these people, these groups in our country is massive. That's scary. That right there is scary. If you want to start something, hey, that's a perfect time, isn't it? Let's get into prepping, guys. What do we need to do? What do you need to do? What am I doing? Let's put it that way. It's not just me telling you what to do. Let me show you what I am doing. Hopefully you guys follow suit. This is what I look at and what I try to do to better prepare myself, my family. So let's get started. Canned goods. Right off the bat. Cheap, effective, easy. Right here, guys. Tuna. Potatoes. Now, that's whole potatoes right there. Spaghetti sauce. Bacon flavored Spam. I mean, come on. Hell yeah. Cream of chicken. This stuff here is great for rice. It really is. There's all kind of great ideas you can do with rice, guys. Chili, no beans. Also great with rice. Moving on. Green beans. Corn. Chicken. Oh, for a second I thought it was spaghetti. Ravioli. Chef Boyardee there. You don't have to get what I show. These are ideas, all right? Getting canned goods. This is food that lasts for many, many years. The non-pop top is the best way to go, okay? Unfortunately, most foods now come with a pop top. And from my experience, you just need to be careful when you are stacking food in a closet somewhere. The weight onto the bottom one sometimes causes the pop top, well, to pop. And then you lose that food. So watch how you stack and store things. The sealed cans, I haven't had no problems with. All right, so I tried to get that as much as possible, but some manufacturers do not make it all in steel cans. You have to have the pop top on certain things. So to each their own. But don't buy a bunch of stuff that you don't like eating. Just don't. All right. Back when the COVID hit, the pandemic, I had a lot of friends that went out to the store, bought ramens, all kind of stuff that they usually don't buy, but they were on a very limited budget. They panic bought is what they did. They went to the store, we got to get something now, and they bought a whole bunch of stuff that they don't even eat. And it sat, and it sat, and it sat. Eventually that stuff started going bad. It wasn't sealed correctly, it wasn't stored correctly, and then they lost all that several $100s worth of food because they didn't rotate it out, didn't eat it, they just put it in a closet somewhere. Cheap, effective, canned goods, all right? Get stuff that you like. If it's something that you haven't tried yet, hey, be a grown-up. Buy one, try it out, see if you like it. I can definitely tell you that there's some things I do not like, but I also can tell you that as a survivalist, that someone has been out in the field, that lived out of their own backpack for a year and a half, you'll be amazed at what you'll eat when you're freaking starving. I'm telling you that right now. So, canned goods, easy, effective, cheap-ish. I know price of food is getting ridiculous. So, let's move on. The next thing, staples, dry goods. That's right. Dry goods is your rice, white rice. This is peas, it's not beans, it's what I had to grab. This is split peas. It's dried peas. Dried beans, rice, flour, sugar. There's so many things you can actually go through. Pastas. Yeah, spaghetti pasta. Macaroni pasta. Yeah, macaroni and cheese is freaking awesome. It just is. Ever since I was a kid, and I still eat it today. I know there's going to be those that say, well, what about milk? You got to have milk and butter for macaroni and cheese. Actually, you don't. But I got something over here too. Let me open this up. Here we are. Powdered milk. Yeah. There's an idea as well. Powdered milk. Just add water. You got milk right there. So, dry goods. Spaghetti, pasta, noodles, not egg noodles. They don't last as long, but any other type of noodle works a lot better. Rice, beans. Mylar it up. This here's Mylar from Wallabies. We're affiliated with them. Put an O2 absorber in it. It's going to last you up to 20 years. Now, with rice, you have to worry about weevil eggs. So what you do is you freeze it for 24 to 48 hours. Pull it out, put it in a pan, let it air dry. So all the moisture's off of it, all the ice coating's off of it. And then you seal it up. Boom. This is not vacuum sealed, by the way. This is just from the O2 absorber. Nice little brick effect. Next up, water. You need to have water on hand. I do know that water takes up a lot of room. Water weighs a lot. So whatever you got to do to store water, whether it be stored in 5-gallon buckets, all right, 2-liter soda bottles, water bricks, whatever. And this is something I've been trying out. I really can't recommend it yet because I'm still trying it. Mylar. Yeah. That's a gallon of water in there. I don't know how well everything is. Still testing. I'll let you know after the elections, right? If we're still around, if the internet's still up. Who knows? But it is something I am testing out as well. Some new idea. Actually, I think one of our subscribers mentioned it to me about Mylaring up water. I know I can buy pre-made survival water. I think it's SOS is the name of the company. They Mylar small pint size things of water. So technically, same thing, right? Find out in a few months. Water is very important. Next is a water filter. Now guys, we've done plenty of videos on different types of water filters. This one's from one of our affiliates. That's for Patriots there. The ceramic filters with the activated carbon cores are probably one of my favorite go-to filters. They look like over here. They are heavy-duty filters. They filter out heavy metals, chemicals, pesticides. These right here. These things are freaking awesome. That's powders because they're brand new. Once you rinse these out and start using them, there's no more powder residue. But even a Sawyer Mini, it does 99.9999 infinity % of bacterial removal. Now, stuff that causes giardia and dysentery. Okay? That is better than nothing. You know, I see people all the time because one of my favorite outdoor survivalists that I watch is Lestral. He drinks straight from rivers, streams, ponds, and he says he never had any problems with it. I'm guessing maybe you can build up an immune system or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I can tell you from my experience doing outdoor survival, one of the training courses I went through, they make you get dysentery. So you know what you're dealing with dysentery. The other time was a mistake on my end. It was a mud puddle. I was dying of thirst, and I figured just run it through, you know, a tripod water filter. That's the one where you put grass, gravel, sand, charcoal through. It can get a large amount of bacteria, but it doesn't get it all. It's better than nothing, but unfortunately bacteria went through it and I got sick. So I've had dysentery twice. One intentionally, the other one by accident. Get yourself a good water filter. Next, first aid medication. First aid, trauma packs, trauma kits. when you do these high-end kits, you need to learn how to use this stuff. Don't just buy it, put it on a shelf. Please, whatever you do, don't go get a little crappy first aid kit from Walmart or online stuff that's not any good. Just don't. All you're gonna have in there is some ointments, some Tylenol, some Band-Aids, some tape, a couple pieces of gauze. That's it. You need you something with tourniquets, trauma kits, dealing with major injuries. That's what you need. Now, should you have over-the-counter medication? Absolutely. You know, Tylenol, aspirin, or gel, anything for like diarrhea, stuff for vomiting, some things that you might need to use to vomit up because you got hold of some poison or something like that, might be a good idea as well. So there's many different things you can do, but you need to know how to use the medical equipment and the stuff that you have on hand. Now, if you have a need for medication to stay alive, just a daily medication you have to have, I recommend, I mean, I've been saying this for a while, but if you're new here, you need to stock it up. If shit hits the fan and they start shutting things down, you're not going to get the supplies that you need. You're not going to the store. Food's not being delivered. Don't be surprised if the water gets cut off in a certain area and also electricity. The best way to control an area is to shut it down. Medication, it's not going to be there. So if you need insulin, blood thinners, stuff like that, yeah, stock it up as much as possible. Now, I do know that there are some, can't think right now, I just got off work, insulin that is sold over the counter. You know, that you can get, or not over the counter, it's on the shelf. Yeah, it's on the shelf. You can just walk up and buy it. But a lot of diabetics cannot have it. All right, so I did see the comment on that before, and I actually had went and purchased a bunch of it because I have family members that are diabetic, and they couldn't take it. So, careful what you read, careful what you see on YouTube. A lot of people start typing it away, but they don't have all the information available. Some of that diabetic medication, insulin, yeah, you can get it as any normal person. You think, well, I'm just going to stock it up. You got a friend. Make sure that they can actually use that insulin before you go buy a whole bunch of it. Okay, moving on. Now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty, the expensive ass shit. Yeah. Long-term food storage. That stuff there, the freeze-dried stuff, 25 years shelf life. It's great. You can buy it, stick it in a closet somewhere, and not have to worry about it for 25 years. You don't have to rotate it out, nothing. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to take it out of the box like I did. Leave it in the box. Stuff's not cheap. Is it good? Yeah. Does it last a very long time? Absolutely. But that's an option. Next up, solar generators. That right there is from one of our affiliates there. Having a big, large solar generator. That's a 2,000 watt system right there. It also has an additional battery hookup, or that's an 1,800 watt system with an additional battery hookup. Being able to run lights, security cameras, like we have security cameras here at our home, on our property. When the power's out, I can still activate my security cameras, and I can see at night when things are moving around my yard. I can visually keep track of what's going on. Pretty good idea to invest in something for power. Now, if you don't want to go with the solar generators, no big deal. I've done many videos on building your own solar grid. All right, it's not cheap building a solar grid, but you can build a solar grid that's more powerful than this for less of the price of that. All right, so it's up to you, but that's portable where the solar grid is not at all. The battery banks and everything else is freaking huge. Next up, the cheap, effective way is a gasoline generator. All right, but you can only keep so much fuel on hand. If the fuel is shut off, there's no fuel coming in, what you got is what you got. And gasoline generators are extremely loud. People are going to know that you've got it. Ask me how I know. We are in Florida, Hurricane Central. Yeah, when power is knocked out, you can hear a generator echoing for miles away. If you're the only one with a generator running, yeah, it might not be a good thing. But leads us into the next thing, protecting. protecting what's yours. Now, there is going to be a lot of legalities, legal shit. So I can't really tell you what you can and cannot do. Let your moral compass be your guide. You know what rights you have in your state, what the laws are as far as defending your property and what you can and cannot do. When it comes to your property, in my opinion, and what I do here at my home, I will protect it with everything I have. That stuff's mine. That stuff's for my family. Anybody trying to take a generator or any supplies we've got, I take that as a personal threat to my family. Life and death type of situation. So, that's up to you guys on that. If you're going to be going down that road, make sure you have protective equipment. That's right, firearms. Know how to use it. If you got a firearm right now and you've never shot it, you need to go and get some damn training now. Don't wait till it's time to actually use it to go to use it, because you might take your hand off or shoot yourself in the foot or accidentally shoot a loved one. It's happened. And it's not the gun's fault, it's the operator's error, because they're not familiar with it, they're not trained with it. It's a tool, just like all tools. I'm a mechanic by trade, I'm a welder by trade. You have to know how to use your tools. How do you know how to use your tools? Use them every day. That's how. So anyway, guys, I just want to get you fired up, make sure that you are safe, try to put back as much stuff as possible. The stuff that we show with affiliate links and stuff like that, guys, you don't have to buy through our links. There are a lot of other YouTubers that are actually better speakers than me. If you like their channel and you see some of the products that I have that they have, hey, and you like them better, go use their links, okay? Go use their links. It helps support their channel, all right? For those that use our links, I appreciate it. It doesn't matter who you buy from, as long as you're buying something and getting prepared. All right, you don't have to go and buy a whole bunch of long-term food storage. Personally, I say get up to a year's supply of canned goods and dry goods before you ever buy that. But there are some people that don't have the time to rotate stock. They don't have the time to Mylar up a whole bunch of stuff. All right, I understand that. And they're sitting a little bit better in life where they could actually throw a little cash at it and not have to worry about it. Well, in that case, I got a link just for you. There's plenty of links out there. I've tried all kind of different long-term food, survival food. If you got a question about it, some I'm affiliated with, some I'm not. Just hit me up. I'll tell you if they're any good or not. Most of them are reasonably good as far as taste, quality, and longevity of how they are. We've done a lot of cooking videos and stuff like that with them. But be prepared to hunker down for as long as possible. But also have a backup plan. In other words, you might have to evacuate out of your area. You know, if you're in downtown Chicago or, you know, St. Louis, you know, some major hub, and there's massive civil unrest going on, martial laws coming in on you, get out of there. Get out of there ahead of time. Most of that stuff you're leaving behind can be replaced. You and your family cannot be replaced. This is not the end-all be-all SHTF of, you know, end of the world. But what I'm afraid we're going to be seeing go on during this election year, with right on top of this election and within months afterwards, when everything just falls apart over this stuff, you don't want to be stuck with your pants down. You just don't. With the country in chaos during this time, the greater threat is foreign parties moving in, foreign military, starting major conflict, major war with the United States. If America is at war within itself, how are they going to fight off an invader? Anyway, guys, food for thought. If you're new here, guys, please give me the thumbs up, subscribe. We try to keep everything as level-headed as can be. This is a topic that is concerning. It really is to me. Anyway, guys, y'all be safe out there. Speak to y'all later.